My name is Nick Davidson. This is PressRoomHQ. I'm going to do 2 videos for you. I'm going to do a nice shorter one here that's just going to show you sort of the basics with the data I already have preloaded for Dream Factory, and then I'm going to go back through in a different video at a longer form and show more or less how this thing works and like more of the mechanics behind it. But first thing to mention here is I will send this link in my my Slack message. You guys will be able to request access if you'd like to onboard your own companies into here. Most of the Xenon domains I've already scraped a little bit and looked at, and so it's ready to go for almost every Xenon org should be able to benefit from this, at least in a little bit. So anyway, get into the platform. So this is the platform, PressRoomHQ. Basically what it does is scans for signals, uses those signals to generate content, automatically onboards you by scanning the website, does SEO audits. There's a scoreboard feature in there too, and just a whole mess of stuff. So I'm just going to kind of walk through more or less left to right, but excuse me. We'll start with auditing. So I already went through and audited the Dream Factory main site. All of this stuff here is stuff that the scraper found itself and it was looking at. None of this, I didn't enter any of this. So it found our docs, found our guide, found our homepage, all that fun stuff. I already did a deep audit on the homepage. You can do a quick one, which is just look for robots.txt, LLMs, TXT, the sitemap, that kind of stuff. Or you can do a deep one, which takes a while, which is why I pre-ran it. So when you do the deep one, what's the point unless it tells you what to do? These are your action items. So it'll go through and say like, hey, these are all things that you should work on and fix, and here's why. Everything gets a rating tied to it, a little point scale here. So the more you fix, the better your score. And again, this is just looking at the main site. You can do this with any of your domains, any of your subdomains, a specific page, whatever. So properties is pretty fun. So for Dream Factory, not every repo is like this, but a lot of our like documentation stuff is so yes, the docs are a website that has an SEO score. That's very, very important because it's technical content. It also has a repo that's tied to it. So what you can do, you can ignore the deploy failed. I'll show you in a second. But what you can do is you can come in here, and it'll scan the website, so docs.dreamfactory.com. It'll scan the repo, mesh it all together, go through and identify fixes that it feels like are urgent for SEO, and then it'll write a pull request. Now, I've been doing this long enough over the course of the last day that I'm pretty confident I could just merge this and it would be totally fine. I have nothing to worry about. I still will go back through and look through this later. But as you can see, the checks did pass. I'm guessing that this is just a like a timeout or something, but the checks did pass. It usually does pretty good. Excuse me. And then you can see a history here too, where you can actually see your score and how well you're doing on a factor of 100, as well as hopefully see an improvement as you go through and you're continuing to refine this. For the desk, actually, let's talk signals first. Signals are all the external stuff, all of the GitHub repos, the Hacker News stuff, the product hunt, all that fun stuff. So this is looking at basically everything it can find. Hacker News, Dream Factory releases, commit history. The releases are really important for us right now. You can put RSS feeds in here, Google News. I've done all this fun stuff and tested all this stuff earlier. At your desk is where you actually generate the content. So this was looking for signals, right? Looking at the Dream Factory base repository, the Dream Factory MCP server, and the Dream Factory UI. And so I told it to write a blog and a LinkedIn post, wrote them both for me. Blog's pretty good, comes in Markdown. I have the skeleton built to connect to HubSpot, just haven't really implemented it yet. And then the LinkedIn stuff is pretty fun. So I did build a LinkedIn app and a LinkedIn connector. So I'm actually going to unpublish this here. Perfect. And then if I publish, see live demo. It says publish LinkedIn. Let's go check. I'm gonna get banned from LinkedIn for posting and deleting all day. Over here, yep, there we go. Timestamp now. So it was able to run through and make that post. That's just through a LinkedIn app. Actually pretty simple once you get that going. And then from there, you can, basically what I've done here is like each one of these stories pulls in however many signals and it just generates the content based on those signals. And if you're like me and you just sometimes can't come up with ideas, yeah, we'll just do one, maybe it'll be quick. You can come in here and tell it to think of ideas based on the signals that it already has access to. Let's see what it does here. Yep, there we go. And so it's going to do something about Kubernetes ingress Nginx. So yeah, that makes sense because I got some signal about Kubernetes and stuff in there because Dream Factory does run in Kubernetes. So yeah, and then all of this stuff is trackable. It's basically a pipeline. You can come in here and revise and tell it to redo it. You can approve it. You can spike it to basically say, I don't like this at all, get rid of it. And it'll do so. Okay, so we went through audit, went through signals, went through desk. Let's go into, this is basically just scraping stuff you've already done. Email isn't quite working, but it can in the future. You can still create emails, you just can't send them from here quite yet, but that'll happen at some point. You can come in here and import. So I had intercom tickets in here imported. It will also connect to a Dream Factory API if it needs to. If you have stuff in your database, you want it to be securely in there. Intel-wise, we do have a scoreboard, which will rate every company that's in here at a certain point. We also have AI visibility metrics, and we have a team feature. So what's kind of cool is we can scan just the about us, the team, the meet the dream team or whatever it is called on our site, and it pulls everybody, grabs their position, grabs their description, all that fun stuff. And then to show you, this is how we knew that I was able to post as Nick, is because I am authenticated in here as Nick, and I was able to OAuth via LinkedIn and do my posts through this application up on LinkedIn. You can put your voice in here too, so when you go to write posts, you can make it write as your voice. I had that in there before I started recording. I don't know what happened there, but that's fun. And yeah, that works pretty good too. And all of this is ran via skills. So I'm not just programmatically doing this. This is a skill that Claude and I created over the last couple hours, basically. That was created. And basically, so this is the SEO GEO one. This one just says go through, look for domains robot.txt, see what it can do, see what it can't do, and then flag it if bots are not allowed to crawl for whatever reason. The humanizer goes in and just tries to make the text sound a little bit more human. If you do automated content, just look up the humanizer Claude skill. It's really, really, really good. Connect all these different things or connections that either work all the way like LinkedIn or sort of skeletons like YouTube and Facebook. GitHub OAuth does work. You can have it write GIST for you and post GIST onto your own profile for you, as well as act on your behalf, like we saw. If you notice, this pull request was from me. And then, yeah, like I said, HubSpot and dev.to and stuff also work. The dev.to one is pretty fun. For whatever reason, Medium does not work because they changed their auth parameters, but might be able to get that working in the future. All of this is completely headless, so you can make an API key, which will work and allow you to query your stuff via API or MCP, which I'll show you here in just a second. And then if something's not quite right, like I noticed a couple times it doesn't get everything perfect, you can come in here and change it pretty easily if you need to. And then again, as I give you guys access to this, I'm going to post some links to go request access, and then I'll go through and I'll grant access to start onboarding people later. Please feel free to come in here and give me some feedback. What's wrong? What's not working? You should see almost everything get logged down here, so just copy and paste and send those logs my way, and I'm happy to check it out. Or if the content quality subpar, or UI, UX, or feature requests, all that fun stuff. All right, so we'll do the fun part now is MCP, of course. Dangerously skip, and we'll say use PressRoom to summarize Dream Factory's content. Should just work, hopefully. Yep, so it's going to go and list the orgs. It's going to go find the Dream Factory org. It's number 34. And this is with that API key that I showed you guys earlier too. And it's just going to find what it finds. We're harmonizing. Claude and I have harmonized together. And there we go. And so you can actually have it post and stuff too. I'm not going to do that right now just because I already was posting to LinkedIn. I feel like any moment they're going to ban me for what I've been doing today. But all works pretty well. You can tell it to post. You can tell it to generate content. You can do all this stuff through MCP. I have not tested MCP via the Claude UI or the ChatGPT UI or whatever, but it should work. I wouldn't expect a problem. But yeah, All works here. Anyway, PressRoomHQ. I'm going to post a longer video as well. You'll probably see the link right below this one. This one already got a lot longer than I intended it to get. So anyway, thanks for watching.